Okay, well, I have so much information to share, and I'm going to do my best to share it as succinctly as possible. And the reason that I am is because I know a lot of this information is very activating for many of you. And I know I get a lot of messages that some of these pieces like fill in blanks for you or connect the dots on things. And same for me. When you send me those messages, it gets my wheels turning and it helps me. Okay, so during the month of January, I held an Earth Tenders practicum, which was a small group of people who had already completed the Earth Tenders Academy and wanted to go a lot deeper. And so we did like multiple meditations and journeys and property readings every week. At the very end of the month, I was told to take them on a journey into the red portal. And it turned out it was right before 2/2, which was a very activating portal. And during that time, one of the people was handed or shown a gold disc within the portal and was asked to come back. I think it was on the full moon to do more work with it. She's been working with it ever since that time and has been sharing some of the information. But in the last week or so, she was told to hand it off to somebody else who was in the practicum. So he's been working with it for a week or so, and then he was told to hand it back to me. So then I was told to take this gold disc to Kootenai Falls yesterday, and I have been there a few times, and it has become very clear to me how sacred that site is. So it's a little bit of a tourist attraction now, even though it's kind of in the middle of nowhere. So I will say, if you are local or passing through and you go there, please treat this site with an immense amount of respect. Please bring an offering, have some kind of ritual, ask for permission. Just very much. The message I hear every time I go there is be in reverence. So it's a very important site, and I knew that it specifically had something to do with this disc, but wasn't 100% sure what was going to happen or why I physically needed to go there. Okay, so I get out there yesterday. This is like a 2-hour drive for me to get to. And I felt the point at which I like walked through a curtain or wall of energy, and like everything on the other side was very activated, very different. And paused, did my ritual, gave my offerings, asked for permission, sat for a little while, and then was asked to come down onto the top of the waterfall area to do work with the disc. So when I got down there, I sat down quietly. I had a specific oil that I was told to bring that I used. I was holding on to a wand of selenite, and I basically energetically handed this disc over to what I perceive as a very large portal over the falls. And when I did that, it's like it merged with the portal. And then it was like laying flat, but hovering, over the ground, and started spinning faster and faster and faster and faster. And it was like warp speed spinning. And I was physically moving with the energy and felt like I received an activation, and was just sitting there quietly with my eyes closed and started noticing I was getting a little bit wet. And I was like, oh, it must be sprinkling a little bit, And so I just kept sitting there and, feeling the energy and letting everything happen. And then I was like, no, I'm getting really wet. And so I opened my eyes, and no kidding, and you can look at that photo yesterday. It was like sunshine, blue skies, beautiful weather. And all of a sudden it was this like swirling snowstorm just in this area right over top of the waterfall. It was a trip. I could like see to the other. So a couple minutes later, I heard the message that my work was done. The disc needed to stay and continue transferring information, but I was done. So I got up, packed up, walked back, stepped back on the trail. The snow stopped. The sun was out. The rest of the time there was beautiful. So certainly there was a big activation, a lot of energy happening, and right as I was almost back home, I suddenly started getting really hot, and only on my right side. My right cheek, my ear, my chest, my arm, all the way down my hand were bright red and burning hot. And it went on like that for a couple of hours. And then it moved to my left side. Like the energy crossed over. It was my left cheek and my left ear. And then another hour after that, it was my feet. So the energy was really moving through my body. So I had to tell you all of that to answer the question, what in the hell is this gold disc? Why are we involved? And what in the world is it doing? So I energetically checked in on the disc this morning, and it's still working. It's standing up right now and spinning a little slower. And there's beings that are all there taking care of it, keeping an eye on it, and it's still working. It's not ready to go anywhere else yet. But I sat down to channel and ask, like, what's happening? What exactly is this? And basically, they called it a device. They said, last week I had the experience of seeing timelines anchoring in through the portals, and that's one piece of building the new Earth. But then there's all these other pieces, including this device, which is helping to transfer information on and off the Earth. And basically, 3D Earth has been on lockdown for so many generations that information on Earth hasn't been able to reach other points in the universe, and information in other points of the universe haven't been able to reach. So then I was told again, go get my book Earth. They were literally like, this is just your Bible right now. Everything that's happening, it's in here. Go look for it. So once again, I flip it open and it falls right open exactly to the relevant information, and it put all of the pieces in place for me. So the spot the book flips open to is all about the Earth's living library and about how we as humans are the keys to unlock the door of the library. And so all of the knowledge, all of the information is stored here within Earth. And a lot of the information is helpful to other parts of the universe, but it can't be accessed except through humans. And so all of us working with this disc had kept asking, like, but why do you need us? What can you not accomplish energetically that you need a human being for? And have kind of gotten a general answer about we have the ability to do things as humans on this earth plane that they can't do. But that explains it. The book says that members of the family of light will be acting as tour guides to help unlock some of this information. So it makes sense that the disc is moving between. So the disc is literally moving between sacred sites to be unlocked by a human, and for the information in the earth to be transferred through this device and be useful in places off the earth. And then information that has not been available on the earth is also coming through this disc and being installed back into these sacred sites. So that's the really long story of what I've figured out in the last couple of days. It's also why I think my guides have been telling me to be quiet. So you're getting this huge download of all of this all at once. Because I've kind of had to be in a quiet spot to receive a lot of this information. Oh, and what does this all have to do with the map? We're still figuring that out. So stay tuned. There are a lot of synchronicities between some of what we're doing and the map. So I think that's still coming through.